Today we're going to finish the last three examples of our notes from yesterday where we multiplied polynomials. Remember the two ways we multiplied polynomials? We either used the box method, where we could do something like 2x plus 3 times x plus 4, and then we multiply it, or we could use the FOIL method. Remember, FOIL means first, outer, inner, and then the last. So those are the two ways we do it. Today, I'm pretty much going to focus on using the FOIL method in all three examples, but if you prefer the box method, that's okay. Go ahead and do it with the box method. Alright, the directions say multiply using either the horizontal form or the vertical form. Remember, the horizontal, we're really going to use the box method, and vertical form means we're going to FOIL it. Okay, and it says arrange these terms in each factor in order of decreasing or increasing degree of one of the variables. That means we just need to order our final answer from least to greatest depending on the exponents. Okay. So I am going to decide to FOIL this. So F in FOIL means first. So I'm going to do the first times the first. So x times x is x squared. The O stands for outer, so I'm going to do the two outer terms. So I'm going to do x times -1, which is a -1x. Now the I stands for inner, so I'm going to do the two inner terms here. So 4 times x is positive 4x. And finally I'm going to do the last terms, which is the positive 4 and the -1. So positive 4 times -1 is -4. Now I check. What I have is I have a -1x and a positive 4x, and that's a positive 3x. So I get x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now, the part of the directions that's new today, it says arrange the terms in each factor in order of decreasing or increasing degree of one of the variables. Ours is already done, because notice we have an x to the second. This is technically an x to the first, and here there's no x, so that's an x to the 0. So it's already in decreasing order. Alright, in this example, I'm going to end up distributing each piece of this to each piece of this. So let's go ahead and do that. So here I'm going to multiply this 2 times this 3, and I get a 6. Now I'm going to multiply this 2 times this positive 5s, and I get a positive 10s. And then I'm going to multiply this 2 times this -4s, and I get a -8s squared. Now I need to do the next one, so I'm going to do a -s times 3 is -3s. And then I'm going to do -s times positive 5s is -5s squared. And then I'm going to do a -s times a -4s squared is a positive 4s to the third. Okay, now that I have this is where the directions are going to be a little bit more tricky. Okay, we want to put our final answer in order based on the degree of the variables. So I'm going to look here, and I'm going to look for the largest exponent. My largest exponent here is a 3 on this 4s to the third, so that's what's going to lead off for me. I have a 4s to the third. Okay. Now, after an s to the third would be an s to the second. So I see here's an s to the second, and here's an s to the second. So I'm going to combine those, and I get a -13s to the second. Okay, after an s to the second would be an s to the first. Here I have an s to the first, and here I have an s to the first. So I'm going to combine those, and I get a positive 7s. And finally, the last thing I have is an s to the 0, or in other words, no exponent, which I have right here in this 6. That's what goes at the back, and I get a plus 6. So my final answer here in order is 4s to the third, -13s to the second, plus 7s, plus 6. So that's what they're talking about when putting it in order from increasing or decreasing degree. Alright, we're going to distribute this to multiply it just like we did on the last one. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do this negative 2y, or this 2y times xy, and I get 2xy squared. Okay, and then I'm going to do this right here, and I get a negative 2y cubed. And then the last distributing part, I get a positive 6x squared y. Notice I always write the x's first. If you have the y's first, it'll be the same. Now, when I distribute this, I get a positive x squared y. And then I'm going to distribute this, and I get x times negative y squared is negative xy squared. And finally, on my last distributing, I'm going to get a positive 3x cubed. When I multiply x times 3x squared, I get a positive 3x cubed. So let's write that, positive 3x cubed. Okay, so now I have it distributed. Now I'm going to put it in order, okay, based on the exponents on the x. So I'm going to look for the largest exponent on the x, and right here I have an x to the third, so that's what's going to go first. I have 3x to the third. Now I'm going to look for any terms that have an x to the second. So right here is an x to the second, and right here is an x to the second. So I end up with positive 7x to the second y. Okay, now I'm going to look for an x to the first. So right here I have an x to the first power. Right here I have an x to the first power. I'm going to combine those, and I end up with 1xy squared. Okay, and the last one is not going to have any x's in it, is this right here. That's going to go at the back. So I have a minus 2y cubed. So notice I put it in order. I have an x to the third, an x to the second, an x to the first, and then this last term doesn't have an x. So it's in decreasing order, okay, of the x. Your assignment, which will be due Friday, is what I gave you yesterday, page 162 and 163. 1 through 36, all of them, except I'm going to exclude 2 of them. Okay, you do not have to do number 27 and 28. So your assignment, which is due Friday, is 1 through 36 all, not 27 and 28 though. You can skip them. If you have questions, stop in the morning or ask them at the start of class Friday.